What's up guys, I'm Caleb Tennant. We just got finished riding here at Glen Helen, testing out the all-new 2022 YZ250 two-stroke for MotoOnline. So we had an awesome day and we're going to hear a breakdown of the bike in a minute. Overall, I was super happy with the bike straight away. The bike had really good power. I was thinking the bike would want to rev out a lot since it being a two-stroke, but actually the bike worked really well in like kind of mid to high range RPMs. As soon as it kind of starts tapping out, I'd shift that next gear and it'd always have really good power delivery the whole way through. They have a whole new intake system with a whole new airflow. So I felt like through the gears between second, third, fourth and fifth, every gear had really good power. All the tight corners I kind of could stick through in second the whole way through. More of those medium corners I could be in third, and the bike kind of felt a little bit like a four-stroke feel where it had that power the whole way through and you didn't have to scream it. So I thought the engine was a really good package altogether. So with the gearing, the stock gearing was actually really good. I thought that the ratio, like I wouldn't really want to play with different gearing too much. I thought that the gearing was really smooth the whole way through. The one thing I felt is when the bike really screams super high, it kind of gets to a point where it would fall off. So that, like I said before, the bike wants to shift up pretty early, which is a kind of a different feel for me on a two-stroke, but the bike never really lags. So I thought the gearing was really good. So for suspension, straight away the bike had a bit of a rigid feeling. It feels quite stiff all around, which is not really a bad thing. So I actually came in after a couple laps and I thought that the bike was actually too stiff and I wanted to soften things up. And especially was when I was really charging hard into the bumps. But we actually ended up going the opposite direction, went a little bit stiffer on the compression on the front and the rear, and I got a lot more comfort in the bike. I felt, especially when I was riding the bike around when we went stiffer, the bike did feel really rigid, but as soon as I charged a lot harder and was aggressive with the bike, the suspension worked really well. So I think if you're like a more intermediate rider, you could soften those things up and get that nice plushness, but it does have that, that feeling of when you go more aggressive, that the bike does hold up the way you want it. So for the chassis, the bike felt really good. It's got a whole new plastic, so the bike's a lot more narrow. It feels a lot more narrow in your legs. So in that feel, it's a whole lot better. I like a nice slim bike. So I could kind of put the bike where I wanted to. It felt really light. The one thing I had to adjust to a little bit compared to being on a four-stroke is I really felt that bike likes to be laid over quite a lot. I found when I was more straight up and kind of got on the gas, was not letting the bike really get down, I kind of would feel myself oversteering a lot. So I kind of got more comfortable as the day went with leaning that bike over, and as long as I laid it over, had that good weight on the outside peg to keep that bike nice and stable, and got that early power delivery, the chassis worked really well. It's also got a new seat, which makes you not feel like you wallowed into the bike. It feels like you're more up on top of the bike, which is a nice feeling, so that you kind of feel like more in control and you can get more forward without feeling like the bike wants to slide you back so much. So I really enjoyed that. With the braking, the brakes are really smooth. I don't have any complaints with the brakes. Obviously the two-stroke doesn't have that engine braking, so I wouldn't feel as sharp and as hard as what the four-stroke would feel, but I could still feel myself charging late down those straightaways, getting on those brakes, and it was really smooth the whole way through. So no complaints on the braking. I thought it was all around good. So with the handling, the one thing I kind of felt was, this being also, it's a common thing with the two-strokes, you're going to feel a lot more vibration to a four-stroke, but I felt quite a lot of vibration in my hands. I know this is something very common, but what I would maybe think of changing in the future is maybe adding some softer grips, and then maybe by the triple clamps, adding those rubber mounts to maybe not have so much vibration going through my hands. But initially I felt the bike was really good, especially in the morning when the track got really rough and really choppy. I felt like there were a couple things that were kind of harsh on that front end and harsh on my hands. But in the more like rolling bumps, all that stuff, I felt like the bike handled really well. So overall we had a lot of fun. I didn't expect the two-stroke to be so much fun. It's been a while since I've been on one of those. I'm more of a four-stroke guy, but today I actually really enjoyed being on that two-stroke and got really comfortable by the end of the day. So go check out this bike. There's a couple new changes. Check out MotoOnline for all the technical details and a full review for some good photos, videos, and some awesome content.